This is not a drill. This is not a drill. This is not a drill. This is real. This is not a drill.
No, it ain't. Can you hear me?
This is not a drill.
Shiny fine. Can you hear me?
This is not a drill.
No, it ain't. Let me hear you say.
This is not a drill. This is real.
This is the real thing.
Morning, good morning. Can folks hear me? You good, David? Okay. Good morning. You can close out the song. Aloe Black is doing great. Can y'all hear me?
This is not a drill.
Okay. I am can y'all hear me okay? That's not me. I'm on mute.
Oh, maybe it's me. Oops, it was
That
me.
was
Sorry,
Kim.
y'all. Sorry, y'all. I'm giving instructions and I'm the culprit.
Like, wait, it's on.
I'm the culprit.
It's on everything. Can you hear me okay, David? So we're grateful to have David off. My name is Melina Abdullah. You're listening to this, and it's not a drill. Of course, you're always welcome into the conversation at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. We got a really full show and full day today. Today, first of all, I have not had my morning smoothie. Have you had your morning smoothie?
It's in here. I haven't had it yet.
Oh, that's not the good one.
What do you mean that's not the good one?
Do you know what today is?
I made it.
Do you know what today is? Do you know what today is?
Well, today's July 11th.
That's right. It's one of the greatest days of the year.
Is it Prince's birthday?
No. Prince's birthday is June 7th. 6-7.
I'm like,
his birthday is 6-7. Do you know what today is? David, do you know what today is? 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven, like 7-Eleven grocery store chains, you get free Slurpees. Other than that, I don't know.
Let's keep going. What do they sell at 7-Eleven?
The Slurpees.
It's free Slurpee day.
We get free Slurpees. That's what it
is.
is.
Free Slurpee all day. It's a good day. Today is 7-Eleven. It's 7-Eleven. It's National Free Slurpee Day.
All right.
So I will see y'all at every 7-Eleven. At every 7-Eleven, this is the trick. You hit every 7-Eleven all day long. You can be high on Slurpees. So that is my plan for the day. I hope that you all jump in it. Am I still on the StreamYard?
You appear to have dropped off the StreamYard.
Okay. I'm trying to get back on the StreamYard.
Technical difficulties on a live show, y'all.
I don't know what's happening. Okay,
Live
listen
show.
To the radio is the priority. The
Exactly.
radio is the priority. So I don't know. It said something went wrong. Okay. So we are going to ground ourselves. We're not going to worry about that right now. It is Mercury retrograde. Is your StreamYard on?
Mine's on, yeah.
Okay, flip it towards me if you can. And then that way we can at least get this part, when we get over to the thing, everything's going wrong. We get
the news
over to the news. We'll flip it back over to you. It is. I'm glad that we have people who know this stuff because it's Mercury retrograde, which means communications are messed up a little bit.
Really?
So, Yeah, I can't even get the show up.
The issue.
I can't. I'm gonna have to use my phone to pull up the grounding because I don't know what's happening with my computer at all.
Yikes.
So it is what it is. So we're going to ground ourselves. We're going to ground ourselves with our land, labor, and life acknowledgement, as we do every week. Remembering that this country, I know y'all were celebrating 4th of July, 250 years. They were celebrating 250 years of colonialism and enslavement. That's what it is. This country is built on the stolen land of indigenous people by the stolen labor and lives of our African ancestors. And so we ground ourselves every single day. I ground myself every day. But for this show, we ground ourselves every week with our land, labor, and life acknowledgement. So I invite you to take a deep breath in and breathe out. The land which we inhabit in what is now known as Los Angeles is physically situated in the original ancestral homelands of the Tongva, Quiche, Chumash, and Gabrielino people. We pay honor to the Tongva, Quiche, Chumash, Gabrielino, and all indigenous people, past, present, and future, in their continued presence in the homeland and throughout their historic diaspora. Take another deep breath in and breathe out. We pay homage to those who were stolen from Africa, forced into labor, and named as chattel, who were called slaves, but never submitted as such, who have always been fully human with an unbroken connection to the divine and to each other. We honor our African ancestors for the still unpaid labor which built what is now the Americas. Take a last deep breath in and breathe out. To both our indigenous and African forebearers, we commit to the continued struggle for liberation and reparations, for it is only through freedom and justice that we truly give honor. Ashe.
Ashe.
So again, on today's show, and I think it's something happening with Wi-Fi generally because yours keeps going in and out as well. Yeah, so as long as they can hear us on the radio, we're okay.
Yep.
We apologize if you're trying to plug in on YouTube or Facebook. We may have some ins and outs, but if you're on the radio, remember you can always listen because they're on right now. If you're on trying to watch on Facebook, you can always listen at the KBLA app, KBLA 1580, and you can listen. There is such a thing as real radio. And that's 1580 a.m. 1580 a.m. And so we want to lift up what we're doing, that there is an ongoing struggle. There is a war on Black people. And I know we feel it. Well, I know we feel that the every system of white supremacy has aimed itself on our backs. There is nothing more dangerous than pretending to live at peace when we are really in a state of war. And so what we're focused on for today's show is how we fight back when there is an all-out war on Black people. Now, I watched mainstream news, which I don't do often. I watched mainstream news for 3 hours while I was washing clothes, because some people are going to say, why were you watching MSNBC or MS Now? I was watching mainstream news for 3 hours. Not a single mention of Nolan Xavier Wells. Not a single mention of Cohen Wiley. Not a single mention of Gerard Jackson. Not a single mention of DeAndre Robertson. Not a single mention of any of those killed. Tyron Johnson. Any of those killed. 2 Black men were killed by federal forces in Tennessee last week. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? Did you know that Nolan Wells is not the only Black child to be found dead after he was hanging out with a group of white folks? Did you know that? Did you know that Gerard Jackson was found hanging from a tree after he attempted to go to a concert, some festival with his white friends? He was found hanging from a tree. Did you know about that? No, because mainstream news doesn't mention it. Right? So I joke sometimes and say, I got my news where we all get our news, Instagram. Look, we got to follow the right social media accounts to get the information. There has been no more conversation about Carmelo Anthony, but it's really important. It's really important that we're following. That we're following all of that and that we're getting our news because just like, we just celebrated Juneteenth and we should have celebrated Juneteenth, just like they don't want to give us the news of we free or we been free. But they don't want to tell us that war has been committed, especially on our Black boys, because you know what we might do? Fight back.
That's right.
In the words of one of my babas, one of my mentors, one of my comrades, one of my colleagues, Akinyele, Dr. Akinyele Omoja, put respect on his name, former chair of Africana Studies at Georgia State University, co-founder of the Malcolm X grassroots movement. He wrote the book, We Will Shoot Back. If we summon Robert F. and Mabel Williams, it is about not allowing war to be declared on us and we don't defend ourselves literally and figuratively. So that's what we're going to talk about on the show today. We're going to hop in with Makani Tamba is joining us. Marquel Bridges from Building Bridges, who is straight out of Mississippi, is going to be with us. We're going to have a more than a hashtag conversation with the father of Cohen Wiley. And of course, before we get into all of that, we're going to hop into the news with Kim Holmes. You're welcome into the conversation at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Much more to come right here on This Is Not a Drill.
BLM's This Is Not a Drill, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project.
Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
She's sharp. She's fearless. I don't know what they told you, but if they told you that cutting me off is how I was going to get clicks, stop it now. She's that girl, and she's bringing all of that to your radio this summer. Amanda Seales is here. I am Amanda Seales. Comedian, artist, actress, activist, truth teller. The woman who never bites her tongue is coming to KBLA Talk 1580. And baby, the conversations are about to be unmatched. Every Friday, she's going to be lit noon to 2 p.m. and back again 4 to 6 p.m. starting Friday, July 17th. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. Amanda Seales, keeping it real, keeping it raw, and keeping it rooted. Politics, pop culture, Black excellence, the stuff they don't want us talking about. Amanda's talking about all of it.
You keep interrupting me when I'm talking, and you don't want to hear the point that I'm going to make. And yet you want me to respect your point. And that's not how a debate works.
This is not your average radio show. This is a Seales Summer. Fridays, noon to 2, 4 to 6. Starting Friday, July 17th. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. Don't just listen. Tune in.
BLM's This Is Not a Drill continues right now.
It was 7:45, we were all in line to go to teacher Miss Kathleen. First was Kevin, then came Lucy, third in line was me. All of us were ordinary compared to Cynthia Rose. She always stood at the back of the line, a smile beneath her nose. Her favorite number was 20, every single day. If you ask her what she had for breakfast, this is what she'd say. Starfish and coffee, maple syrup and jam, butterscotch clouds with a tangerine, side on a ham. If you set your mind free, baby, maybe you understand. Starfish and coffee, maple syrup and jam. Cynthia wore the prettiest dress with different color socks. Sometimes I wonder if the mates were in her lunchbox. Me and Lucy opened it when Cynthia won around. Lucy cried, almost died. You know what we found? Starfish and coffee, maple syrup and jam, butterscotch clouds, tangerine, and a side on a ham. If you set your mind free, baby, maybe you understand. Starfish and coffee, maple syrup and jam. Oh.
All right, and that is the morning anthem, one of the morning anthems. That is, I got a morning playlist. That's the third song on my playlist.
Oh, yeah.
So I open with Hezekiah Walker, Grateful. I always try to open with that, and then Yolanda Adams, Open My Heart, and then that's my happy song, Starfish and Coffee. You are listening to This Is Not a Drill right here on KBLA Talk 1580. My name is Melina Abdullah. I'm in studio with Kim Holmes, and we're about to hop into these headlines. There's a lot of them. Well, we got Kim Holmes.
Good morning, y'all. After many months of people-powered organizing to get the flock out of Los Angeles, LAPD has let the massive contract with the surveillance company expire. Stop LAPD Spying Coalition has been leading the charge against Flock, which uses Big Brother-style surveillance to monitor the movements of Angelenos. If the expiration on the LAPD contract holds, Los Angeles will join more than 50 other cities and locales around the country that are cutting ties with Flock. This is a major win for the people.
It's a major win for the people, and we want to encourage everybody to lift up Stop LAPD Spying Coalition, who again has been leading the charge to get the flock out of Los Angeles. And so we need everybody to show up. So when we say we got a lot of headlines, the headlines are made by the people. Don't listen to what MSNBC, MS Now, CNN, definitely not what Fox News says the news is, right? The news is the news that we make. And so we want to make sure that you know that this isn't just that LAPD or the city of Los Angeles came to the conclusion that Flock is bad. Remember, Flock is all those cameras that gather your license plate information, facial recognition. They do the body scans, all of that to know what we're doing, what you're doing, where you are. They monitor all of it. And they share that information with police departments and the federal government. Police have been caught misusing Flock to monitor people. Surprise, surprise. And so for the last many, many months, we've been working with Stop LAPD Spying Coalition to say no more Flock contracts, which are multi-million-dollar contracts that the city pays out to monitor the behaviors and comings and goings of Angelenos. And so we think that that is a terrible use of resources that could be used for things like housing, after school programs, food, all of those things. So this is prayerfully, the end of the contract. There are 50 cities up and down the state and throughout the country that have ended their relationships with Black. We want to make sure that this holds. So Tuesday morning, we need you at Police Commission meeting. That is Tuesday morning, 9:30 a.m., 100 West 1st Street. And you want to tell them to end the contract with Flock. Don't just let it run out as a negotiation tactic. We want the Flock out of Los Angeles, the Flock out of Los Angeles.
Yesterday, it was reported that the phone of Black teenager Nolan Xavier Wells was recovered with deleted messages. Nolan was found dead after a 4th of July outing with white friends at Horn Island, Mississippi.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've seen this, Kim, but they were on whatever show. What's the guy, Michael Strahan?
Good Morning America. I saw
Good
it.
Morning, yeah.
Mhm,
So his parents were on the show.
mhm.
And anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, it's because mainstream media, other than I haven't seen them talk about Nolan Wells. They definitely haven't been talking about him, even on supposedly progressive television like MS Now. But I did see that he was on Good Morning America, and I'm grateful for that he was on along with the family attorney, Ben Crump. I don't know if he's cloning himself or what, but
How can he be everywhere?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know
what,
but we do need more civil rights attorneys
of him. Yes.
And I'm grateful that he's hopping in it.
Yeah.
And Ben Crump can't be the only lawyer doing this work.
No.
Right. So he was on Good Morning America. His beautiful parents were on, and they were talking about Nolan Wells, who went to celebrate 4th of July with a bunch of white friends. He winds up dead. First missing, then dead. They recovered his phone, and it's been scrubbed. Like all of his messages have been deleted. The phone seems to have been moved many places that were not the same places that were tracked on the apps. So it seems like there is probably foul play. That he was heard arguing with his white friends. So look, let me say this: be careful who your kids' friends are. Like if they the only Black one in the friend group, that might be an issue.
It might be an issue. And the other thing I would like to point out is that they made an issue. They kept saying that we turned over the phone to, we gave the phone to. It's like, no, the mother made that very clear. They found the location of the phone because of that app and then went and asked for it and got it from them.
That's right.
She had to get that phone from them. They did not willingly hand it over like that.
That's right.
So let's go. There are renewed calls to abolish ICE after they killed Lorenzo Salgado Arrejego in Texas this week. Lorenzo has been living, working, and raising his family in this country for 34 years and was killed Tuesday morning as he attempted to drive his construction crew to a Houston job site.
Yes. And so we want to make sure that we lift the call to abolish ICE, but not just in the name. And we absolutely mourn for the family. Lorenzo Salgado Araujo. We pray that justice comes in his name. And we have to remember the first American to be killed by ICE was Keith Porter on New Year's Eve, who was killed by Brian Palacios. It's important to know that case file was turned over to the district attorney already. The district attorney has not filed charges. And whatever this fool's name, Jim McDonnell, the police chief, has not arrested the murderer. So we're calling for the firing of McDonnell. You can sign the petition. You can listen and sign at the same time. tinyurl.com/fire McDonnell, fire McDonnell, tinyurl.com/fire McDonnell. You can do that because he should be fired for that. The chief of police should be fired for that, among many other things. But also, we are going to be out in full force, and I'll hop to this headline now. Every Wednesday, we protest outside of the district attorney's office, but this coming Wednesday, we'll be standing with the family of Keith Porter, including his mother, including his cousin, Miss Tyler, who's a member of Black Lives Matter Los Angeles. Will be standing in front of the Hall of Injustice at 211 West Temple to say that District Attorney Hawkman, who is absolutely terrible, who is MAGA, who disaffiliated from the Republican Party just in advance of his election so he could win. Look, charge Brian Palacios, right? So yeah, we say abolish ICE, but we also say do that in the name of Keith Porter as well as Lorenzo Araujo, right? As well as in the name of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Right here, we have people that ICE killed, Black people named Keith Porter, a Black father named Keith Porter. So join us in that.
Black Lives Matter grassroots building bridges on the ground organizers in Mississippi and the family of baby Cohen Wiley are calling for a worldwide boycott of Walmart, which is complicit in the murder of the 1-year-old child by police in Senatobe, Mississippi on June 14th. Sign the pledge to boycott Walmart
at tinyurl.com/boycott Walmart now. tinyurl.com/boycott Walmart now. You do not need to go to Walmart for nothing. So we are saying boycott Walmart because they called the police on this Black mother. They said she stole diapers. I don't care if she did.
Doesn't matter.
You know, I don't care if she did. There's a 1-year-old baby named Cohen Wiley that's dead as a result of your store policies. And then 2 days later, you did the same thing and brought the death of DeAndre Robertson in Anchorage, Alaska. And you already knew because John Crawford was killed in your store when you did it in 2014. And Stephen Taylor was killed in your store when you did it in, 2022. And the sister who was killed in 2024 in Atlanta. Boycott Walmart because they kill Black people.
Yep. Black Lives Matter grassroots turns 13 on Monday. And so do I turn 13. Well, I don't turn 13.
You don't want to be 13.
No, not anymore. You are invited to join the organizing meeting and celebration this Sunday at 7 p.m. at the Center for Black Power. BLM grassroots chapters from around the world are slated to be on the ground in Los Angeles this week for the annual convening. Be sure to tune into This Is Not a Drill next week to hear from some of them. You are urged to donate to support the work at blmgrassroots.org.
We turning 13.
We turning 13.
Getting into our teens. And remember, we now have 56 chapters all around the world. We invite you again. That's tomorrow night, 7 p.m., 3423 West 43rd Place, 3423 West 43rd Place. You can follow the work of Black Lives Matter Grassroots at BLM Grassroots on all social media. When we come forward, more than a hashtag with the parents of Cohen Wiley.
More of BLM's This Is Not a Drill. Up next, we got a lot to talk about.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. California Governor Gavin Newsom and his wife have hired a private attorney as a federal investigation continues. Newsom says the probe is purely political and claims people were directed to, quote, find something, end quote.
Just directed, find something. It says everything you need to know about the United States of America.
He says he nor his wife has been contacted, interviewed, or subpoenaed by the Justice Department. Black Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson's millionaire tax referendum has been blocked. A city council committee said it did not qualify as an emergency measure. Johnson's office accused some aldermen of protecting corporations over working Chicagoans. And Tennessee State University is delaying the debut of its men's hockey program again, canceling the planned 2026-2027 season. The team would be the first hockey program at an HBCU. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
This November, you'll decide who leads California. So shouldn't you hear directly from the people asking for your vote? Join us for California Voices, a political town hall and ballot forum, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. Meet candidates running for governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and other major statewide and local offices, including mayor of Los Angeles, city attorney, and LA County sheriff. Get clear, nonpartisan breakdowns of the propositions on your November ballot, both sides, no spin. And ask your questions directly, in real conversation, face to face. California Voices is brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress, giving you the information you need before you vote. Mark your calendar. Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. California Voices. Follow KBLA 1580 for details and download the KBLA 1580 app. Your vote, your voice. Be there.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The midterm elections are upon us. It is voting season once again. Common Cause's motto is fighting for the democracy we deserve. In service of that goal, Common Cause puts its state and national policy expertise, massive network of grassroots supporters, and nonpartisan approach into action to strengthen our democracy against the challenges we face today. They work at every level of government on priorities that impact each of our lives, like defending the right to vote, limiting big money's influence on our elections, holding public officials accountable, and more. Common Cause is a nonpartisan grassroots organization dedicated to upholding the core values of American democracy. They seek to empower all people to make their voices heard in the political process. This election may be the most important one ever. If you'd like to make a donation or volunteer in service to the Constitution, please visit commoncause.org. That's commoncause.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. Let's get something straight, shall we? Holding a black elected official accountable is not the same as having a personal beef with them. That distinction matters, and too often it gets blurred, sometimes on purpose, I think. The minute someone raises a real concern about outcomes, about votes, about spending priorities, about broken promises, it gets reframed as an attack, as disrespect, as tearing down our own. We need to stop that, y'all. That framing does a disservice to the very communities these leaders represent. Accountability is not betrayal. Accountability is what elected office requires from everybody, regardless of the seat or who's sitting in it. Let me ask you a quick question. Do you think I have a personal beef with Donald Trump? It ain't personal. It's his anti-black policies. You feel me? So why is it always framed as personal animus when the critique is in black? See, you can miss me with that mess. Black communities have fought too hard and for too long to get representation at the table. That fight doesn't end once someone wins an election and becomes president of the country, or for that matter, the city council. If anything, it raises the stakes. Representation without results is not the goal. Representation that delivers, now that's the goal. So, in the future, when we talk about a policy failure, let's talk about the policy. Let's keep our eyes on the actual record, the votes, the budgets, the promises, the perennially missed deadlines, the outcomes in people's daily lives. Because the moment we start treating accountability as disloyalty, we lose the ability to ask for better from anyone. We must never surrender our agency to be outraged when our leaders underperform. Our communities deserve leaders who welcome scrutiny, not ones who hide behind identity to avoid it. Now, let me put my hard hat on, go back outside, and see if these procrastination Crenshaw construction crews have shown up yet. I'm saving space for grace, but if these trucks don't show up soon, well, you already know. With the KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
Unapologetically progressive, unapologetically black. More now, BLM's This Is Not a Drill.
JY, turn me up. Miami. That's for all my scammers and my kid money.
Where are my scamming? Fast. Spending that money fast. 20, 50s, 100s cash. Boy, going that go, y'all bad. Boosting, where y'all at? Stuffing that in y'all bag. Just to flip it, pop some some tag. Girl going that go, y'all bad. Spinach, 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 spinach. I like a gangsta making more than 10 figures. I'm a down, riding with you in the swag. Only with the hitters for his girl here, tricker calling up his trap phone. Where you at? Show me where you spin a block on your ops. Hanging out the drop, screaming the cops. What we doing? Show me where your hood at. What's your face card? Where you good at?
Look, I wanted to let that rock for a minute because I feel like they've given Young Miami and this song a bad rap. That was a pun, by the way.
Oh, I didn't even get it. A bad rap.
A bad rap. David Claps don't know it. Listen, where is your ability to do content analysis, right? So I hear what NDRE is saying about we want to represent ourselves in the best possible light.
I don't care.
But also, have y'all seen the film I Love Boosters?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I haven't.
I Love Boosters was the best Boots Riley film that, he'd be going wild on them films sometimes. But I Love Boosters stars Keke Palmer. What's the dude's name that's in that's walking down the street and Get Out? The one Lakeith Stanfield he's in it.
Love him.
It's great.
The talented brother.
It's a great film, but it's a film about boosting. This song should be the theme song to I Love Boosters. It's not talking about hoeing. It's talking about boosting. Where all my scamming ends at. I don't use the word, right? Where all my scamming ends and where all my boosting bees. Listen, I may be reading too much into it. Well, I don't think so, though, or I wouldn't do it. Right? But boosting and scamming is consciously or unconsciously an assault on the system. It is not an assault on each other. It's an assault on a system of white supremacist capitalism that denies Black people the resources it takes to live.
Yep.
Yelling out the drop, F the cops. That's the line, right? Show me your face card. What you good at? You good at scamming? What's your scam, right? I think if we read into it and really do a lyrical analysis of this song. Now, I'm not saying Young Miami is a revolutionary, although Young Miami did say she's going to put some money up for Carmelo Anthony. I don't think that's come through yet, but Young Miami, please come through with that money for Carmelo Anthony. But there's a collective consciousness. She talks about rooting for all the scammers and boosters. I'm rooting for all the scammers and boosters. Do you remember, Kim, when they tried to dupe us into thinking that the thing we should be scared of as Black people is boosting, is, what did they call it? They called it retail theft. Retail theft. And that we should be upset that the Gucci store got hit. I don't care. Remember, why am I upset the Gucci store got hit? Didn't they just do that anti-Black stuff? Didn't they just do some blackface stuff? I don't care if they get robbed. I don't care if they get robbed. The only concern I have, and this is the only concern I have, but I think we deal with that a different way, is I don't want the boosters to get caught.
Same.
I don't want our babies to go to prison. That's the only concern I have. Morally, I think Walmart is much less moral than a booster is.
100%.
I am rooting for the boosters and the scammers. Don't get me. Get that.
Right, exactly.
But if you're getting white supremacist corporations, go for it.
Same.
Go for it. And I think that it's misplaced energy when we talk to young Black artists and say that you're misrepresenting the race. No, you know what we should be going after is the white supremacist corporations like Walmart who have called in police that in such a way that they know it steals Black life. I think we actually have Cohen Wiley's grandfather joining us now, and it actually feeds into what it is we're talking about.
Yep.
Cohen Wiley's grandfather, we're going to go to him shortly to talk about this ways in which white supremacist capitalism, white supremacist corporations like Walmart really set Black people up, including Black babies, for murder. Brother Carlos, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so sorry I wasn't able to be there during the marches a couple weeks ago, but we've been in communication. I know Brother Marquell is there, and we've been in communication, and we are kicking off this Walmart boycott. We've been saying since the moment that baby Cohen was killed that we should be boycotting Walmart. And I don't know if you know the history of Black Lives Matter grassroots, but we've been calling for a boycott of Walmart really since 2014, because your grandson is one in a long line, and the most horrific and egregious in a long line of Black people to be killed by Walmart policies. Can you just remind listeners, before we get into the circumstances in the call, about your grandson Cohen? Your grandson Cohen is just 1 year old and should be playing with you right now.
I know, yes. How you doing? I'm Carlos. I'm Cohen's grandfather. Man, this has been horrific. Never heard of, never thought about. So unexpected. Oh boy.
And he's a baby. He's a baby. Tell us just a little bit about what he was growing into. I know he was walking and
yes, he was walking. He loves to eat, loves to play. He was just a cheerful baby, man. And he has my other grandchild, which is she's Harmony Hills. She's 3 years old, and they were best friends. And she was like his mom, because she's like to take care of him and, just be the big girl. And she's so lost. She asks about him every day. And that's what bothers me the most, when she asks where he is. And man, it's different.
I'm sorry, Brother Carlos. I'm sorry. When we come forward, I want to just remind our listeners what happened to baby Cohen on June 14th. And then we'll talk about what the calls are for justice in baby Cohen Wiley's name. More to come right here on This Is Not a Drill.
More of BLM's This Is Not a Drill up next. We've got a lot to talk about.
Going to a World Cup match in LA this summer? Ditch the parking stress and ride Metro. With direct service from across LA County, it's the easy way to get there for just $1.75 each way.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, thanks, President. Brother Carlos, we'll be back in just a minute. We're just on a quick commercial.
The Michael's Daughter Foundation is dedicated to inspiring youth and resilience through storytelling, arts, filmmaking, and enrichment programs for youth and families in under-resourced communities and system-impacted individuals. The Michael's Daughter Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit providing free and low-cost arts programs to youth and families from under-resourced communities, both system-impacted youth and those affected by the incarceration of a loved one. 1 in 43 children in America have a parent incarcerated. 70% of those children are expected to end up in prison. Through filmmaking, animation, theater, and writing, they help young people express themselves, build confidence, and imagine new possibilities. Beyond the arts, they offer financial literacy workshops, emergency support, and scholarships. Because thriving takes more than talent, it takes access. To learn more about the impact of Michael Daughters Foundation and how you can be a part of the movement, please visit their website, michaelsdaughterfoundation.com. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You have something to say, and we want to hear it. KBLA Talk 1580 is engagement radio, not outrage radio. A place where your hopes, your frustrations, and your ideas are welcome 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Real talk, real people, real Los Angeles. KBLA Talk 1580, the station that sounds like the city looks. Tune in on your AM radio dial at 1580. Download our free KBLA 1580 app or listen live on our website at KBLA1580.com.
Unapologetically progressive.
As the poet laureate of Harlem, Langston Hughes, once said, I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll sit at the table when company comes. Nobody dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America. KBLA Talk 1580 and the Inner City Youth Orchestra of Los Angeles invite you to attend the 18th season finale concert, I Too Sing America, honoring the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, this Sunday, July 12, 3 p.m. at the Walt Disney Concert Hall. Curated by conductor Charles Dickerson and performed by the largest orchestra of color in the nation, I Too Sing America promises to be a show you won't soon forget. This Sunday, July 12, 3 p.m. at the Walt Disney Concert Hall in downtown Los Angeles. Purchase tickets at icyola.org or from the Music Center box office at musiccenter.org.
I too sing America.
BLM's This Is Not a Drill continues right now.
My Uzi weigh a ton, I bought it. My Uzi weigh a ton, I bought it. Ain't got nobody go. My Uzi, I just need mighty go. My Uzi ain't got nobody go. My Uzi, I just need mighty go. My Uzi fully at the forward. My Uzi weigh a ton, I bought it. My Uzi weigh a ton, I bought it. Ain't got nobody go. My Uzi, I just need mighty go. My Uzi ain't got nobody go. My Uzi, I just need mighty go. My Uzi, I swear on Mama Lena soul, my grandmama, that old cold, that Mississippi, that dirt road, this barefoot, that bare soul, I better load, oh, solo by myself, dolo, Frodo from Lord of the Rings.
There is so much
happening
in Mississippi. There is so much happening in Mississippi. And so, of course, that's Mississippi's own David Banner, talking in different ways about how we defend ourselves against the war on Black people. We're in our More Than a Hashtag conversation with Brother Carlos Haynes, the grandfather of baby Cohen Wiley, who was murdered on June 14th by police in Senatobia, Mississippi. His mother was accused of stealing diapers, which I believe her when she says she wasn't. But to be honest, I don't care if she was. I don't care if she was. I don't care.
Neither do I.
Cohen Wiley should be with his sibling. His sister, Brother Carlos, was just sharing. She asks about him every day, and she's 3 years old. She doesn't understand what it means that her baby brother is no longer.
First cousin.
Doesn't understand. And Mr. Carlos, Brother Carlos, should be there with his grandson. Brother Carlos, I'm wondering if you can share with us what you know about what happened on June 14th at the Walmart in Senatobia, Mississippi.
I'd rather not speak on that.
Okay. Well, can you rescue me if I'm wrong? Okay. I'm going to share what I've heard, that Sister Pumpkin, the mother of Cohen Wiley, was at, and are you Pumpkin's dad or your Davion's dad?
I'm Davion's dad.
Okay. So Pumpkin was at Walmart with her friend and her child, her son, and they self-checked out. I believe they self-checked out, and then they were accused of stealing. Walmart called police on them, and it wasn't even Pumpkin that was being accused. I think it was her friend that was being accused of stealing diapers. Again, to me, this is irrelevant because they always come up with an excuse of why they stole Black life. And they were in the car. They went to the car, get in the car to leave, and Senatobia police come and they shoot into the car. Pumpkin was trying to say, "Stop, I have a baby in the car," and they shot into the car and they killed Cohen Wiley, who was just 1 year old. Just 1 year old. And at a certain point, Black people, we got to stop saying, well, what did she do? What did they do? There is nothing, though, that a 1 year old could have done that warrants his death. There is nothing that a 1 year old could have done that warrants his death. And so they killed this baby. And I'm going to just offer that it was absolutely Senatobia police. Absolutely Senatobia police. And it was Senatobia police in collusion with Walmart. That police have always been the protectors of white profit. And Walmart has really utilized this to kill Black people to protect their profits. Can you talk to us, Brother Carlos, about the uprisings that we've seen and the organizing that we've seen in Senatobia? I know it's only been 2 weeks now since baby Cohen his body was laid to rest. Can you talk about the organizing that's happening there?
Yeah, we just been having like organized rallies and organized protesting, nonviolent. And I would like to join the new protest that's coming up nationwide. I would like to join and be a part of it.
Beautiful, beautiful. And we're talking about, when you say the nationwide protest, part of that nationwide protest is the boycott of Walmart stores.
Right.
Can you tell us what your thoughts are on the role that Walmart is playing in calling police on people?
I would only really just speak about the love I have for corn. I really don't like speaking on nothing else.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But you won't be going to Walmart stores is the point.
Oh,
you
no,
will be participating in that boycott.
Yes.
Okay. I've spoken with the grandmother of Stephen Taylor, who was killed in a Walmart store as well. Spoken with the father of John Crawford, and we haven't spoken very long about this long litany of Black people. I hope that you're aware that just 2 days after Walmart called the police on baby Cohen's mother and friend, they called police on a Black man that they also accused of shoplifting in Anchorage, Alaska, DeAndre Robertson, and he was also killed. And I appreciate what you're saying, Brother Carlos, that you want to speak on the love for your grandson, that these are real people, that your grandson is your real grandson. And so what can we do to support you and support the family as we move forward?
Let's move forward with the boycott. That's a start.
Move forward with the boycott. And what do you want to see happen with this whole with
I just would like
police?
justice to be served. Everybody keep my family in your prayers. Arrest Hunter Foster and let's move forward.
And Hunter Foster is the name of the cop, the Senatobia cop who pulled the trigger and stole baby Cohen's life. So we want him charged and prosecuted, arrested, charged and prosecuted, and move forward with the Walmart boycott. We will be doing that. I know that you are continuing in Senatobia, Mississippi. Can you describe the town of Senatobia? Is a smaller town. I keep trying to figure out where it is, and it's closer to Memphis than it is Jackson, right?
Small town.
And so I would imagine that the theft of baby Cohen's life impacts that entire town.
Correct. It did.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that people in your town are also continuing to organize. We're very appreciative of Brother Marquel Bridges from Building Bridges, as well as Sister Jennifer Kane from Black Lives Matter Grassroots Memphis, which is about 40 miles outside of Senatobia, for continuing to organize. Again, I apologize that I wasn't able to get there for the homegoing services for your grandson. It was a beautiful service, and people can see some of that online. He was buried in a very small coffin. He had some cartoon characters on his coffin, I believe. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So like any 1-year-old, he was a happy child who loved, what was it? Blue's Clues? What was it?
Bluey.
Bluey. Yeah, see, I'm old. I don't know Bluey. I know Blue's Clues. I don't know Bluey. But he should be he should be here.
Listen, I appreciate y'all guys for tapping in, and y'all welcome to contact me whenever, but I have to get to work. I got to get the bills still rolling, and I appreciate y'all. I appreciate talking to you guys, and I'm willing to talk to you guys whenever, meet with you guys or whatever. It's been.
Thank you, Brother Carlos, and we'll continue to organize. And for the listeners, and Brother Carlos, I know you got to hop off and get to work. For the listeners, you heard Brother Carlos say move forward on the Walmart boycott. So we are not shopping at Walmart. We're lifting baby Cohen's name, and we're continuing to organize. Thank you, Mr. Carlos. I'm going to issue just a few calls to action after you hop off, okay?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Black Power. All right, so we want to make sure that we continue to organize in the name of baby Cohen Wiley. And as they lift up all these other names, do not allow them to erase the names of Black people, especially Black babies. The baby's name is Cohen Wiley. The baby's name is Cohen Wiley. He's a 1-year-old Black child from Senatobia, Mississippi. You heard Brother Carlos say move forward with the boycott. So we want you to pledge not to go to Walmart stores. You can go to tinyurl.com/boycott Walmart now. tinyurl.com/boycott Walmart now. And we are not shopping at Walmart stores. You can plug in with BLM Grassroots on all social media. When we come forward, we'll talk about the war on Black people.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. California Governor Gavin Newsom and his wife have hired a private attorney as a federal investigation continues. Newsom says the probe is purely political and claims people were directed to, quote, find something, end quote.
Just directed, find something. It says everything you need to know about the United States of America.
He says he nor his wife has been contacted, interviewed, or subpoenaed by the Justice Department. Black Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson's millionaire tax referendum has been blocked. A city council committee said it did not qualify as an emergency measure. Johnson's office accused some aldermen of protecting corporations over working Chicagoans. And Tennessee State University is delaying the debut of its men's hockey program again, canceling the planned 2026-2027 season. The team would be the first hockey program at an HBCU. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
July is Disability Pride Month, a time to celebrate identity, individuality, and inclusion. Pride means showing up as your full, authentic self without apology. Let's celebrate what makes every one of us unique. Easter Seals Disability Services honors Disability Pride Month. Learn more at socal.easterseals.com.
Oh no! Straight a roof down. Oh no, we have time. Please, God, save us. Save our house. Please, God, please.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we haven't forgotten what happened Tuesday, January 7th, 2025.
The trauma, processing the loss of our home. How do we address the compounding effect of the fire now more than 18 months later? I noticed one of my 3 children engaged in self-harm who hasn't been able to articulate the challenges that they've had since the fire. And 4 out of the 5 folks in our household are in therapy, one is not. And the one that's not is the one who I noticed with some marks on their person. This isn't okay. You need to talk to someone.
Black historical memory keeps alive the stories and struggles of everyday people and communities. Black historical memory preserves truths that others attempt to erase, minimize, or distort. Black historical memory prevents history from repeating its worst chapters. At KBLA Talk 1580, we will never forget. Tune into Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr, weekends on KBLA Talk 1580. 1580.
Alabama's got me so upset. Tennessee made me lose my rest. Everybody knows about Mississippi, goddamn. Alabama's got me so upset. Lurleen Wallace has made me lose my rest. Everybody knows about Mississippi, goddamn. Can't you see it? I know you can feel it. It's all in the air. I can't stand the pressure much longer. Somebody say a prayer. Alabama has got me so upset, and Memphis has made me lose my rest. Everybody knows about Mississippi, goddamn.
And of course, that's Nina Simone with Mississippi G Dam. When we talk about what's happening around the world, the war on Black people, Mississippi, of course, is, before I ever went to Mississippi, I thought racism everywhere was the same. And I was like, y'all tripping, it's racist in California. There's more white supremacist organizations in California than there is in any other state in the union. That's what I said, right? Which is true. But it doesn't feel like Mississippi. It does not feel like Mississippi. And I'm not saying it's fine here. I'm not saying it's fine here, but when we talk about what's happening in Mississippi, when we talk about Nolan Wells in Mississippi, when we talk about Cohen Wiley in Mississippi, when we talk about needing to mobilize for Jalen Lewis, who actually the cops who killed him are coming up for trial in September in Mississippi. When we talk about these bodies that were buried behind Jackson, Mississippi jail, the Goon Squad in Mississippi. Mississippi is a different beast. It's a different beast. And I think it's indicative and emblematic of the war on Black people all around this country. Marquel Bridges is the founder of Building Bridges. He's also our former lead of Black Lives Matter Grassroots Mississippi. He's part of the Black Lives Matter Grassroots ecosystem. And he was on, I think we just must have lost him for a second, but I want our listeners to be aware of what's happening in Mississippi, what's happening in Tennessee, what's happening throughout the South. And don't think you're immune from it because you live in Los Angeles, because you live in the Bay Area. Don't think you're immune from it, but we should understand where the front line is. Marquel Bridges, I see you back. I just wanted to check in with you and appreciate you for all the work that you're pouring in. Of course, we had Cohen Wiley's grandfather on just a moment ago, who was talking about the Walmart boycott. And I know that we've been pushing a Walmart boycott since 2014. We redoubled our effort the moment Cohen Wiley was killed, and we're having a strategy call and a call to action to make sure that people are indeed engaging in this boycott, which is a full throttle boycott, right? It's not some just don't go there or just halfway boycott or an unorganized boycott. This is an organized boycott that's being called for by Black Lives Matter Grassroots, Building Bridges on the ground folks in Mississippi, in Tennessee, in California, in Ohio. We're calling for this boycott because Walmart is a dangerous place for Black people. So, Marquel Bridges, that was a long intro, but I feel like you, more than most people, know that there is a war on Black people. And I just want to start with your thoughts on that. That what are we overstating it when we say there's a war on Black people?
I think we're understating it. To be honest, I know talking with Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., he constantly like reiterates to me about using the correct language, calling it police terrorism, police state sanctioned violence, exactly what's going on, murder, all of these terms that the general public and a lot of our people are afraid to use about what's actually happening when you murder unarmed people, and then qualified immunity to get away. It's not happening to any other race of people in the manner it's happening to us. It doesn't happen as often to any other race of people in the manner it happens to us. It was a video shared the other day that it had Dylan Roof, all of these white terrorists that had went into these places and killed people. And then it had Jalen Walker and 4 other Black people that were shot over 90, 60, 20 times unarmed. So it's definitely a war on us. It's been a war on us. A lot of us are not conscious of that or willing to admit that. I'll call it willful ignorance. We've been willful ignorant about what's going on. Private conversations. I know everyone in this call, when you go into your communities, every Black person there constantly tells you what's going on, how they're racist, how the police treats them, how the local politics treat them. But then again, with all of that, with all that acknowledgement of racism, we're still afraid to say, like, wow, they're disproportionately locking us up. Wow, look at redlining, Jim Crow, mass incarceration, the war on drugs. Give us the CIA giving Black people crack and drugs, and then declaring the war on drugs, where they can lock you up, where you still can be treated like a slave. You know, what the language in the 13th Amendment is really important. You know, they're still making slave labor and slave wages in the penal system, which they've privatized. So we're definitely at war. More of our people need to be conscious and treated like that. Then we can be able to fight back. Everything is political, and political is war without bloodshed, but our blood is being shed every day. You know, in Tennessee, they killed 4 people in 4 days.
That's right. That's right. That's Marquel Bridges with Building Bridges. Makani Temba is joining us. I'm grateful that you were able to make time as well, Sister Makani. Makani is a movement veteran. She is my friend. She's my comrade. She's in the movement for Black Lives and Black Lives Matter grassroots ecosystem. And she lives in Mississippi. She's from California, but lives in Mississippi. And has been doing this work for a very, very long time. Sister Makani, this show actually came up as a result of a conversation we were having about something else. And then we were just talking about the constancy of the attacks that, you know, one of the things that I tend to be pretty good at is knowing the names of all the people that police kill. And I had to start writing them down. And that was like I have a list in my phone, which is not something that I've ever had to do before, because it hasn't been, as Marquel said, 4 people in 4 days, right? It hasn't been with this kind of rapid fire. And I'm wondering, is it an overstatement to say they've declared war on Black people?
Well, no, I don't think it's an overstatement. It might be an oversimplification, but it's definitely not an overstatement. I mean, anti-Blackness is a system, and it's a system that also doesn't just affect Black people, right? It is the foundation of racial capitalism, right? That so how were they able to treat people, like snatch people from a land, right? And force them into labor and force them to do unspeakable things, you know, like breed like dogs, have children with your own father, like things that we can't even hold, right? Like that's a system that thrives on our dehumanization, and the violence and the killing and what we think of as sort of the militarization of that's been a part of the history for literally half a millennium, if not more, right? And so I think as we understand that part, that doesn't make the violence any easier to take. It just puts it in context, right? And then it also puts in context, what does it mean to be a Palestinian right now? It also puts in context, what does it mean, whoever it is, a Dalit or whatever that is in the global stage, that at the base of it, so people like to say caste, as if, because they don't want to say racism. And then people fight about racism because they're like, well, it's a social construct, but it's a social constructs are real, right? Like they're real. That's right. They're real things. And so I think that as we sort of reflect on it, it's like, so what did they use as the basis to determine who was good and who was and human and who was not? This manufactured idea of whiteness. They confer whiteness on people who aren't white when it's convenient. They take it back, when it's not. So I think understanding that system, understanding how there's a whole military, and not military just in terms of army, but policing is part of that militarization. Our schools are part of that militarization. Kids going to school through metal detectors, and you look at what happened in Senatobia, just like, why does a Walmart security guard have a shotgun or a gun at all, really? And why be more valuable than human lives? And so I think when we understand this system of anti-Blackness that is in the beauty products, it's in the air we breathe, it's everywhere. And the violence is just the surface, most difficult for us to navigate. And because, our death, it matters, it all matters. And it's also like we are is to extricate ourselves, not just from the violence of the physical violence, the militarization and the police violence, but also the violence around how we look in the mirror and what we see and what we don't see.
Right. And when we come forward, I want to talk about what this war looks like. What are the casualties of war and how we are called, in my view, to fight back, not to just be the subject of attack, but how we strategize. And are there any things that we can win? I don't want to fight a war just to defend myself. I want to fight a war. I'm not willing to allow the attacks to happen and go unanswered, but I also want us to think about what it is we can win. Can we topple white supremacist patriarchal capitalism as we fight? Much more to come with Makani Temba and Marquel Bridges right here on This Is Not a Drill.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from Nitsa and the Ad Council.
She's sharp. She's fearless. I don't know what they told you, but if they told you that cutting me off is how I was going to get clicks, stop it now. She's that girl, and she's bringing all of that to your radio this summer. Amanda Seales is here. I am Amanda Seales. Comedian, artist, actress, activist, truth teller. The woman who never bites her tongue is coming to KBLA Talk 1580. And baby, the conversations are about to be unmatched. Every Friday, she's going to be lit noon to 2 p.m. and back again 4 to 6 p.m. starting Friday, July 17th. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. Amanda Seales, keeping it real, keeping it raw, and keeping it rooted. Politics, pop culture, Black excellence, the stuff they don't want us talking about. Amanda's talking about all of it.
You keep interrupting me when I'm talking, and you don't want to hear the point that I'm going to make. And yet you want me to respect your point. And that's not how a debate works.
This is not your average radio show. This is a Seales Summer. Fridays, noon to 2, 4 to 6. Starting Friday, July 17th. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. Don't just listen. Tune in.
You're listening to BLM's This Is Not a Drill. Now, back to the conversation. The
police coming straight from the underground. A young nigga got it bad cause I'm brown. And not the other color, so police think they have the authority to kill a minority. Oh, that is cause I ain't the one for a punk motherfucker with a badge and a gun to be beaten on. And thrown in jail, we can go toe to toe in the middle of a sale. Come with me cause I'm a teenager with a little bit of gold and a pager. Searching my car, looking for the product. Thinking every nigga is selling narcotics. You rather see me in the pen than me and Lorenzo rolling in the benzo. See the police out of shape, and when I finish, bring the yellow tape to take off the scene of the slaughter. Still getting swole up bread and water. I don't know if they fags or what. Searching to get down and grabbing his nuts, and on the other hand, without a gun they can't get none. But don't let it be a black and a white one, cause they'll slam you down to the street top. Black police showing out for the white cop. Ice Cube will swarm on any motherfucker in a blue uniform. Just cause I'm from the CPT, punk police are afraid of me. A young nigga on the warpath, and when I finish, it's gonna be a bloodbath of cops dying in LA. Yo, Dre, I got something to say. Police.
Look, David's like, when you gonna come back? Now we'll come back. Sorry. That's one they had to write. That's how we feeling right now. That's how we feeling right. That's how we always feeling, but especially right now. Mikael is calling in on line one. What we got, Mikael?
Shalom. This is Mikael, the Hebrew Israelite. I have a statement and I have a question. One statement is, I used to work Dodger Stadium for 23 years, and I got injured there, and they wrongfully terminated me. And right now, I've been trying to get my job back, because I can't get can't find the attorneys or whatever. So I went to court July the 1st, and I went to court back in March. The company at Dodger Stadium is Levy Restaurant, and they in March didn't show up for the case. So I filed a default of judgment of for dismissal, and they didn't do it. So now I go back July the 1st, and they dismissed my case for no reason. So these are two white judges. They don't like us, is what I'm saying. Whether you're right or you're wrong, they don't like us, and they dismissed my case July the 1st. I'm in court, and they show up on the screen, but they working together to bring us down. We're going to have to separate and get our own. And like I say, get our own. You saying boycott Walmart. I had this question. All those black people work there, and where can we go? Is there a black Walmart? Is there a black Target? We don't have no businesses. What can we do? I'm asking you.
I'm so grateful you called in and that you're asking that question. So when we started boycotting or calling for the boycott of Walmart in 2014 and really went full throttle on it in 2015, that was after the murder of John Crawford, who was a young Black father killed inside a Walmart store in Beaver Creek, Ohio. And if you remember the story of John Crawford, he was holding Walmart merchandise, and they called police on him. Police came in and shot him in the aisle. And we've been calling for a boycott ever since. There are many, many reasons to boycott Walmart, right? And I think that Black death is the primary reason for me. But there's a really great film called Walmart: The High Cost of Low Prices. And I want to reach out to that filmmaker, because that filmmaker shows all of these reasons, the exploitation of workers. So when you say there's a lot of Black people who work at Walmart, we got to remember they're working at Walmart for slave wages, right? That Walmart workers are paid so little that a plurality of them have to go on state benefits, which means you're subsidizing their wages because they got to get food stamps, because they got to get Section 8 vouchers, because they have to go on welfare because Walmart doesn't pay enough. Also, Walmart is polluting the environment. They are the number one retail polluter of the environment in the world. When we talk about the deaths of Black people, when we talk about the deaths muted or don't mute it? about muted or don't mute it? Okay. When we talk about the deaths of Black people at Walmart, it's not just the police that are called. They also deliberately do not make Walmart safe. They found that thefts and attacks in Walmart parking lots could be knocked out just by putting an unarmed security person on a cart would virtually eliminate all crime in Walmart parking lots, which in many towns are the site of the most crime in the entire city. So boycott Walmart. Now, you said, what can we do? Black Lives Matter Grassroots launched verifiedblackowned.com. And that's where we kind of house where are Black owned businesses, verifiedblackowned.com. So, Mikhail, we say, do the work to shop Black. We're very fortunate that we live in Los Angeles, and there's a lot of Black owned businesses. Africatown is a phenomenal place to shop. I don't get my hair care product at Walmart anyway. I also don't get them at the beauty supply that somebody else owns. But you can go to Napoli Naturals and get your beauty supplies at Napoli Naturals.
Glow and Flow Beauty. They got one in, I think they may have closed Hawthorne, but they got one in Inglewood.
But if you go to verifiedblackowned.com, you'll find Black-owned businesses that do everything from, where you get your hair care products to where you buy your skateboards. And so, no, we don't have a big box store, but we do have Black-owned businesses that are beneficial to Black community that we can shop at. So thank you for asking that question. Sister Makani, we get asked that question a lot. Do you have any thoughts on what do we do if we're boycotting Walmart, which is part of, the war isn't just a war that's being brought by police guns. It's being brought by white capitalism. Where do we go if we can't shop at Walmart and not Target either?
Yeah, that's right. It's so many places. So I think one of the things that we have to remember is that oftentimes the people who are organizing these places actually need us to boycott as part of the leverage, because the folks who own those companies are not listening to them otherwise. So boycotting is actually a way we can show up for workers who are organizing to try to make a difference. So I think that's important to say. And that's how it's been. And our people have, over many, really centuries, have used that as a tactic very successfully, not only to get the company to treat its customers better, but to get the company to treat their workers better. Another online alternative there's a sister who puts together this Shop the Hood. And Shop the Hood is she curates. I mean,
parents of Nolan Wells are pleading for the public's
it's
help.
okay.
I just want to know what happened.
And so we'll figure it out. So
Mom, Christine Wesley, at a news conference with civil rights attorney Ben Crump at the National Action Network.
We're fixing it. Okay,
no problem.
Okay,
no problem. This is short that's left is that and she has figured out how Black people can get Black-owned toilet paper, like everything. You thought that Black people didn't make.
Tell us a website again.
Shopthehood.com. Shopthehood.com. She has figured it out. In addition, so I think, and I know more and more people are curating these things and checking it out because we want to do something concrete. And then the other thing I just want to say real quick is that part of how we disconnect from the war or the system or how those things work is there's more and more of our people who are building community cooperatives, who are growing food together, who are making things. And it's not everywhere, but it might be someone listening to this right now who's like, I have an idea, or I have an empty lot, and I could be putting it to use to help people move one step further away from this system. And I want to, this is an invitation to find your comrades, your people, your cousins you didn't know you had, and figure out like how to share into that. And people are making a difference. The fewer dollars we spend in this system, the more we move toward our freedom and liberation.
That's right. And Marquel, just very quickly, when we talk about this, I know that you entered this work responding to the immediate needs to Black people being killed by police and being killed by white supremacy, but you're hopping in on the boycott. How is that part of fighting back against the war that's been declared on Black people? We got about, actually hold it, because we're going to get your comment on that on the other side. So again, when we talk about war declared on us, it comes in many, many ways. So absolute police violence, white supremacist violence, but also the way in which this country is structured in the first place when you talk about white supremacist capitalism and how it's set up to dehumanize, to steal Black life. More to come right here on This Is Not a Drill. You're welcome into the conversation. 800-920-1580 on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Esther Dillard with BIN News Now. The Black parents of Nolan Wells are pleading for the public's help.
We just want to know what happened and why our baby didn't come home.
That's his mom, Christine Wansley, at a news conference with civil rights attorney Ben Crump at the National Action Network. They, along with the Mississippi NAACP, are calling for a full and transparent investigation into the death of 18-year-old Wells. Wells was found dead on Horn Island days after he was reported missing over the 4th of July weekend. And doctors have a warning before your next grocery run to avoid explosive diarrhea. A parasite called cycloproriasis is spreading nationwide, causing the severe stomach bug. Officials trace it to contaminated produce like leafy greens and berries. Their advice: wash produce under cold water and wash your hands before eating. And the U.S. is experiencing another hot and sticky weekend after forecasters warn a dangerous heat dome is covering the country. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
July is Disability Pride Month, a time to celebrate identity, individuality, and inclusion. Pride means showing up as your full, authentic self without apology. Let's celebrate what makes every one of us unique. Easter Seals Disability Services honors Disability Pride Month. Learn more at socal.easterseals.com.
This November, you'll decide who leads California. So shouldn't you hear directly from the people asking for your vote? Join us for California Voices, a political town hall and ballot forum, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. Meet candidates running for governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and other major statewide and local offices, including Mayor of Los Angeles, city attorney, and LA County Sheriff. Get clear, nonpartisan breakdowns of the propositions on your November ballot, both sides, no spin. and ask your questions directly in real conversation, face to face. California Voices is brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress, giving you the information you need before you vote. Mark your calendar, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026, California Voices. Follow KBLA 1580 for details and download the KBLA 1580 app. Your vote, your voice. Be there.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. These are hard times for housing in America. Too many in our community face barriers to safe housing, behavioral health care, and affirming spaces for healing, particularly those impacted by poverty and stigma or incarceration. Rooted in South LA, Ahmad supports impacted communities through housing, wellness, and leadership development. Ahmad provides culturally responsive, peer-led support from transitional housing and mental health services to leadership development and youth empowerment. They offer safe, affirming houses for youth, transgender women, and formerly incarcerated individuals. Therapy and peer support with a focus on healing trauma in Black communities. HIV prevention and care, free testing, education, and wraparound services for whole person wellness. Standing in the gap with health, housing, and hope. Reach out to Ahmad Institute at 323-569-1610. That's 323-569-1610. Or visit amaad.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. Let's get something straight, shall we? Holding a Black elected official accountable is not the same as having a personal beef with them. That distinction matters, and too often it gets blurred, sometimes on purpose, I think. The minute someone raises a real concern about outcomes, about votes, about spending priorities, about broken promises, it gets reframed as an attack, as disrespect, as tearing down our own. We need to stop that, y'all. That framing does a disservice to the very communities these leaders represent. Accountability is not betrayal. Accountability is what elected office requires from everybody, regardless of the seat or who's sitting in it. Let me ask you a quick question. Do you think I have a personal beef with Donald Trump? It ain't personal. It's his anti-Black policies. You feel me? So why is it always framed as personal animus when the critique is in Black? See, you can miss me with that mess. Black communities have fought too hard and for too long to get representation at the table. That fight doesn't end once someone wins an election and becomes president of the country, or for that matter, the city council. If anything, it raises the stakes. Representation without results is not the goal. Representation that delivers, now that's the goal. So, in the future, when we talk about a policy failure, let's talk about the policy. Let's keep our eyes on the actual record, the votes, the budgets, the promises, the perennially missed deadlines, the outcomes in people's daily lives. Because the moment we start treating accountability as disloyalty, we lose the ability to ask for better from anyone. We must never surrender our agency to be outraged when our leaders underperform. Our communities deserve leaders who welcome scrutiny, not ones who hide behind identity to avoid it. Now, let me put my hard hat on, go back outside, and see if these procrastination Crenshaw construction crews have shown up yet. I'm saving space for grace, but if these trucks don't show up soon, well, you already know. With the KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
BLM's This Is Not a Drill on KBLA Talk 1580.
Something for my godson Elijah and a little girl named Corinne. Some say the blacker the better, the sweeter the juice. I say the darker the flesh and the deeper the roots. I give a holler to my sisters on welfare. Tupac cares if don't nobody else care. And I know they like to beat you down a lot. When you come around the block, brothers clown a lot. But please don't cry, dry your eyes, never let up. Forgive but don't forget, girl, keep your head up. And when he tells you you ain't nothing, don't believe him. And if you can't learn to love you, you should leave him. Cause sister, you don't need. And I ain't trying to gas you up, I just call him out.
And you're listening to This Is Not a Drill right here on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Melina Abdullah in studio with Kim Holmes. We're talking about the war on black people. You know, Makani and Marquel, we're also talking about the many, many ways in which systems attack us. And so when I was thinking about the show, I was thinking about the literal war. When we talk about so many names being killed by police and white supremacy that you can't stop. You can't remember all the names. Marquel mentioned 4 people in 4 days in Tennessee alone. But then Makani pointed out that there's an overall architecture that goes back to the founding of this country that is based on the stolen land of indigenous people by the stolen labor and lives of our African ancestors. Marquel, you hopped in this work fighting the literal war, right? I first met you in Mississippi when you were fighting for Jaheim McMillan. We were fighting for Jaheim McMillan. And, you know, that was a 15-year-old child, 15, who was shot in the head by police, accused of something. That's why I say we don't even care what they accuse us of no more, because they just make all kinds of accusations. But Marquel, you're now looking at boycott as a way of fighting the literal war. We're talking about this Walmart boycott in the name of baby Cohen Wiley. Can you talk about how fighting the war means standing on front lines when they attack us, but also doing things that attack the system that they have, that descends upon us?
Of course. And that was a great question from responses. What the oppressor, what the enemy cares about. And what they care about is economic power, capitalism. McConnell explicitly broke down and intelligently broke down the concept of why this is happening and how it's all tied back to capitalism. So in order to affect their systems, you know, we have to take control of our economic power. You talked about, Dr. Molina, you don't want to just fight, you want to win the war. Walmart has a policy that they only release videos to police, which is one-sided and transparent. So a win with this boycott is making them not only release it to the police, but release it to these families' legal teams so they have a leg to stand on when their loved ones are killed, so they can have transparency and fight, because we know police lie. The issue with the boycott, as McConney pointed out, is we're helping the workers. You know, a lot of people have raised the question of, oh, well, what about the black workers? They don't make a living wage. They don't, and what a living wage means for your viewer, they don't make enough money after working 40 and 80 hours to pay their bills, to live. So we would be essentially helping them with the boycott achieve their goal. So I encourage the workers to get on board with us and with the boycott. And as far as the brother's question, you know, I like to hold people accountable, and I like to address us because I'm black in America. I don't like to even address, you know, the Mayo Sapiens, because they know what's going on and they know what they're doing and they know what they've been doing. I like to address us. St. Louis is experiencing a food desert right now. But if Sexy Red comes to St. Louis and do a show, her show is full of black people. Those clubs are full of black people. All of these black millionaires, all of these black athletes. The NFL is made up of black millionaires, black athletes. The NBA is made up of black millionaires and black athletes. Jay-Z and Beyonce are black billionaires. There are black billionaires. You do not care enough about your community to put a grocery store, a grocery chain in these places that are becoming food deserts purposely to starve our people, to gentrify our neighborhoods. So I like to hold our people accountable for why you have the resources, why you have the support of the people, why our people follow and spend their hard-earned money to support you, but you're not supporting them in no kind of way. And that's very important to address. So what I would like to see is for these black billionaires and millionaires to create a black Walmart. You see the blueprint. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Put a black Publix and start a black chain. Let's see more. When I was growing up in Mississippi, we had fresh food stands everywhere where black people could come get fresh vegetables and fruits. They are all extinct because we thought the white people ice was colder than ours, and we stopped supporting our own people. You used to see watermelon and tomato and cucumber trucks all on the side of the road in Mississippi. They drove our people out because we could go to Walmart, we could go to Sam's, and we stopped supporting our own people. So I want to see people in positions of power, and that goes for the black caucus and every other thing that's black where they're making money. Like, we need grocery stores. The brother raised a good question. How are we going to fight a war when we're dependent on them? That's why I hear people talk extra aggressive, and that sounds good and nice, but how are you going to fight a war if you got to get your ammunition from the people you fight?
So I think those are all really good points, and we could go in on all of them. But I want to just uplift one of the things that I think is underlying what you said and connects back to what Sister Makani said, which is we actually want Black economic models. I actually don't want to give Jay-Z my money. I don't want to give Black billionaires my money. What I would like is, and we're starting to see this in different places. So here we have a place, Imani Farms. We have Pastor Eddie is now providing all of our fresh produce at our Black Lives Matter grassroots meetings. There's Bloom Farms now that are Black-owned farms that are operating as cooperatives, right? Where we're not enriching one person, because honestly, I don't want any billionaires, whether they're white or Black. I want Black people to collectively do what we need to do. So I think that there's an opening for us to look at new models. Very quickly before we got some callers calling in. Marquel, in 1 minute, can you just encapsulate the why boycott Walmart is part of the call for justice for Cohen Wiley? Give us like the 30-second version.
They're refusing to release the video to the family. They haven't made a statement. They're refusing to respect the family or even show that a Black 1-year-old baby life mattered to them. And they're responsible for the call out. John Crawford, 2 days after Cohen was killed, they killed a brother in Alaska. In Senatobia, Mississippi, Walmart gets 1 call per day. They're coming to arrest somebody at a Walmart per day. That's in public mainstream media. You can look that up. So they refuse to respect Black people, and we're their number one consumer. We are making them rich, and we need to take back our economic power.
That was a great short version. Thank you, Brother Marquel. When we come forward, we got some callers. Much more to come right here on This Is Not a Drill.
BLM's This Is Not a Drill continues when we come forward.
Are you feeling the heat? LADWP can help you stay cool this summer and save money. Through the Cool LA program, eligible customers can receive instant rebates of up to $275 on new portable, window, and wall air conditioners. Shop the Cool LA marketplace today and beat the heat and save. Learn more and apply at ladwp.com/cool-LA. That's ladwp.com/cool-LA.
Going to a World Cup match in LA this summer? Ditch the parking stress and ride Metro. With direct service from across LA County, it's the easy way to get there for just $1.75 each way.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA Talk 1580 stands with you in fighting for the rights of Black workers, and we don't black down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations, clergy, students, and scholars working collectively to improve the position of the Black working class. The LA Black Worker Center takes a comprehensive approach to addressing the Black jobs crisis. Their programs promote access to quality jobs, racial equity in hiring and retention, discrimination-free job sites, and they prepare Black workers for employment in high-wage career track jobs. The LA Black Worker Center supports workers who need help protecting their rights on the job. They give workers access to quality jobs and remove systemic barriers to employment. And they are advocating for a fair deal for Black workers in the new Los Angeles City Charter. To sign up for free career readiness training, get involved in organizing, or learn about union apprenticeship programs and trade registries, please visit lablackworkercenter.org. That's lablackworkercenter.org. Together, we can beat the Black jobs crisis and build a more equitable Los Angeles. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
There is no denying that we've always been the conscience of this country. KBLA Talk 1580 is progressive talk radio built for our community, by our community, and with hosts who look like you, live near you, and care about what you care about. 50,000 watts of truth right here in Southern California. KBLA Talk 1580. Listen live on your AM radio dial at 1580 or stream us live on our KBLA1580.com website or on our free KBLA 1580 app.
Unapologetically progressive.
As the poet laureate of Harlem, Langston Hughes, once said, I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll sit at the table when company comes. Nobody dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America. KBLA Talk 1580 and the Inner City Youth Orchestra of Los Angeles invite you to attend the 18th season finale concert, I Too Sing America, honoring the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, this Sunday, July 12, 3 p.m. at the Walt Disney Concert Hall. Curated by conductor Charles Dickerson and performed by the largest orchestra of color in the nation, I Too Sing America promises to be a show you won't soon forget. This Sunday, July 12, 3 p.m. at the Walt Disney Concert Hall in downtown Los Angeles. Purchase tickets at icyola.org or from the Music Center box office at musiccenter.org.
I too sing America.
BLM's This Is Not a Drill continues right now.
CEO. Slap them up and shake them up and then you know. Let them off the float and bait them with the dough. You can do it funk or do it disco. Yeah, this go. 5 million ways to get a CEO. Slap them up and shake them up and then you know. Let them off the float and bait them with the dough. You can do it funk or do it disco. Yeah, this go. I'm justify it, it was worth you waiting. On the turf debating how to get it percolating. You working you while we happy just to work a day. But I'ma slap them till my blood starts circulating. Your checks have elasticity.
5 million ways to kill a CEO. So you didn't know before he was a filmmaker, Boots Riley was a hell of an MC. I wonder, he still gets on the mic though. That's the coup straight out of Oakland. Straight out of Oakland. Right. 5 million ways to kill a CEO.
And listen.
We're talking about fighting back against a war on Black people. We're taking your calls. We see Natalie calling in on line 1. What we got, Natalie?
Hey, family.
What's up, Natalie?
What's up, my family? What's up is our life, our people being lynched on trees. That's what's up, and it's just like it's very emotional to me that our people are just being ethnic cleansed every single day under this Trump administration. And I feel like our black and brown and good white trouble that are billionaires that are speaking on their platforms, they can put their money where their mouth is and buy back BET for the Black people, not the colonizers owning our BET. Far as Tesla, Elon Musk is right now trying to do a lawsuit against Black people even buying Teslas or even having a job through AI, trying to stop them from even getting hired anywhere. And they're driving the Teslas. So I just feel like everybody needs to be educated and fight back financially. And the Dodgers, we dang sure need to continue to boycott them because now they're supposed to be going to the White House July 23rd.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, Sister Natalie. We got just a few minutes, so I want to get Sister Makani to respond, because one of the things that we're hearing is, and I'm hearing from you, is so many different things to do. How do we stay focused on winning a war, not just responding to each little brush fire that's set, but winning a war, Sister Makani?
Yes, no, that is the question. On my website, highergroundstrategies.net, I wrote an article about getting beyond case-by-case justice and some of the ways we want to think bigger about that. So, obviously with just a couple of minutes, we're not going to go into all the details, but it does matter, having strategy matters. Joining an organization like BLM Grassroots and other people who are thinking together about a long-term strategy, because this is not a short-term game. This is a multi-century game, and when we come together, we win. So it's important not to feel like you're on your own. The other thing that happens is we are also in a narrative war, right? The reason why it's so easy to shoot us, even we talk about our people so badly to each other, even many times, even as organizers, right? Where we are, we're saying, wow, people can't get it together. When we are getting it together, we are moving the needle, and we don't necessarily talk about that. People don't necessarily see the victories, but they're hungry for it, because the revolutionary question is never why. People know why. They even know what's going on. The revolutionary question is always how. And as organizers, our job is to break down for people what they can do in the moment. And there's another website. It's an interesting website that I think is an interesting model to learn from. And that is Black Power War Room. .com, which is an interesting coalition of a lot of Black organizations around the country to try to begin to coordinate strategies. So I'm watching it. The last thing I'll just say really quick that I want people to hold on to is history is also important to know, because, what folks don't understand about why we don't have as many Black stores and all those things, there was a time when we had more. We had a policy that supported price stabilization, which meant that whatever store you went into, you paid the same price. And they took that away. And that is actually what created the differential in competition, where Black stores and brown stores and other stores could not compete with the larger stores because the prices were different. And they did that on purpose to sort of disrupt these neighborhood economies. And so we want to understand the architecture of power. We don't want to shy away from that. We want to be clear about what's happening, because that also is how we determine the strategy, right? And we want to also be open to being willing to celebrate our people, because really hope is what we need. Hope is what's making people sit down and not do anything. And so we want to be purveyors of hope as well.
Thank you, Sister Makani. I see we got Monica from BLM Kalamazoo calling in. I saw some stuff popping off in Kalamazoo. Again, I get my news, not just Dequane up in Grand Rapids, but yesterday there was a little boy that was profiled by police in Kalamazoo. Monica's been holding it down in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Monica, thanks for calling in. Monica on line 2. If we could go to Monica on line 2, David. Monica, what you got for us? Yeah.
Hello, good afternoon. Peace and power to all of you. Thank you for having me on. I just wanted to run through a few things that are being noticed and observed over in this area of the state in Michigan, Southwest Michigan. You're right, Melina. We have had some things going on here. In Battle Creek, we were aware of a 16-year-old. I want to make sure I say his name right. I believe it's Elijah Spearman. Elijah was accosted by police and detained for the second time in a short manner of time, just walking home, walking while black, and also walking as a minor. Where the police kept saying they just wanted to talk to him, and he did not want to speak to them, and so they detained him in order to speak to him, tackling him to the ground and being aggressive as they do, and him maintaining that he's done nothing wrong. There's no reason to detain him, and can he call his parents type thing. So that got a lot of attention through the media, and I have heard that Battle Creek has decided to establish a police oversight committee due to that. However, even in Kalamazoo, we have a supposed police oversight commission called the Citizens Review Board, but they do not uphold many of the Black citizens' complaints. Many times the city manager in the past has overridden them. So people are complaining, but they're not actually getting validation that their complaints are real. They're not being upheld. Yes, Daquan Johnson in Grand Rapids was killed by police. He was being chased on his bike, and when he fell off of his bike, the canine was sent after him, and that canine, on top of 3 police officers, had him pinned down when an officer claimed that he saw a gun and shot Daquan in the back 3 times.
So Sister Monica, just finish up for me because we're running out of time.
Yes, what I'm saying is what we're seeing here, especially in Grand Rapids, is a lot of persecution of Black folks and also Black activists. We have an activist that was just released just for telling an officer no, and for using a megaphone after 6 months of serving in jail for that. So it's real here. Mm-hmm.
It's real there. It's real all across the country. We on radio time, so we got to go. Marquell, how do people follow your work very quickly?
Marquell Bridges, MarQuell Bridges on all platforms. Facebook and TikTok are my main platforms. I'm not really on Instagram. So, yeah.
Okay. Sister Makani, how do we follow you?
Well, I'm on Instagram as HigherG9, but I'm hardly there. So just probably highergroundstrategies.net. And just the real quick thing is just remember, fam, got to fight for around these cuts and services, because our families are out here still in diapers that should be free. We got
That's right. That's right. And follow Black Lives Matter Grassroots, BLM Grassroots on all social media. I'm Doc Melly Mel on all social media. We hope to see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. at the Center for Black Power, 3423 West 43rd Place. Come get your Black produce, free Black dinner. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. And make sure you plug in. Come out Tuesday morning, Wednesday evening. Follow BLM Los Angeles for local actions. Until next week, thanks so much for being on the boards, David. Peace out, y'all.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.